All right, let's get right into this explainer. We are breaking down the absolute essentials for the week of June 20th through the 26th, 2026. We're looking at everything from massive macro AI shifts all the way down to the exact e-commerce tactics you need to be deploying this week. We have a ton of ground to cover, starting with a rapid-fire news roundup, and then we're going deep into the tactical knowledge that will actually move the needle for your brand.
Look, the crucial point here is that between algorithm updates on the major marketplaces and the rapidly shifting economics of AI, relying on your old playbooks is just going to completely crush your margins. The ground is moving fast beneath our feet. And that's exactly why we're breaking today's intel down into concrete, highly actionable plays that you can literally hand right over to your operators today.
Starting with Section 1, Weekly News Flash, Macro Shifts, and Platform Updates.
Let's cut right through the noise. The AI race is aggressively moving away from just raw capabilities and straight into deep workflow integration and high-stakes national security. Case in point, Anthropic is actually catching a lawsuit right now for delivering fewer tokens than advertised, mainly because their overlapping usage caps are basically an invisible black box. Meanwhile, they're dropping Claude Tag right into Slack so it acts just like a coworker. On the security front, OpenAI is handing their top-tier GPT 5.5 cyber model directly to defenders, while the White House is throwing serious government weight behind a massive quantum computing moonshot. Throw in Mistral completely resetting the floor on OCR pricing, and SpaceX renting out compute like a landlord, and you can see the infrastructure layer of AI is consolidating incredibly fast.
And while big tech builds the infrastructure, every major e-commerce platform is basically forcing your hand this week. Amazon is slashing product title limits down to 75 characters starting July 27th, and they're just going to use AI to rewrite anything longer. Meta is miraculously trying to revive live stream shopping again, but this time they're integrating with third parties like CommentSold and pushing an AI search mode. You've also got Faire opening up to business use buyers, which is effectively a direct swing in Amazon Business. And just take a look at how Shopify, TikTok, Snap, and Reddit all launched massive AI-powered ad creation and automation tools this week. The entire ecosystem is shifting to full automation.
Let's move to Section 2, Brand and Copywriting Playbook, standing out in a sea of AI-generated noise. With automated tools completely flooding the market, your absolute best defense against generic, boring AI copy is a sharply focused brand message: the world's strongest coffee. Death Wish Coffee built an empire of over 1 million customers on this single provable claim, instead of stacking soft, meaningless adjectives like premium, artisanal, or smooth. They didn't even use standard premium Arabica beans. They used Robusta, specifically because it packed 728 milligrams of caffeine per cup. They literally got a Guinness World Record to prove it. They realized early on that one specific claim you can mathematically prove is the only thing a customer is actually going to remember and repeat to a friend.
If you want to replicate that kind of success, you've got to strip away the fluff. Here is the exact workflow to stress test your product facts. Just take your specs, your sourcing, your real numbers, paste them into ChatGPT or Claude, and force the AI to score your potential claims based on specificity, proof, and how hard it would be for a competitor to copy. Let the AI do the heavy lifting of finding the one true claim your competitors simply cannot match. You have to stop trying to be everything to everyone. Find your world's strongest equivalent.
To push that messaging even further, I want you to audit your email campaigns this week using 2 incredibly high-leverage tweaks. First up, dial in your from name. Using just your brand name is usually the safest default for instant recognition, but pairing a first name with the brand, like Chase from Allbirds, offers this great human warmth without making the subscriber guess who's actually writing to them. Secondly, use transition words. Start your sentences with and, because, or naturally. It completely shatters that stiff corporate tone and makes the copy read like a natural, effortless conversation.
All right, Section 3, Growth and Channel Strategy. Protecting the customer relationship and scaling demand.
Let's kick this off with a pretty harsh lesson on marketplace dynamics and who actually owns your customer. Duluth Trading recently announced they're letting Amazon fulfill orders placed on Amazon's marketplace. By outsourcing fulfillment entirely, Duluth got to keep the manufacturing costs and the fading hope that a customer eventually visits their direct site. But they handed over the ultimate prize to Amazon: the physical inventory, the fast shipping, the returns process, and most importantly, the long-term loyalty of that customer. Unsurprisingly, their DT sales fell 8.7% while they did this. The crucial takeaway? If you route your customers through Amazon's convenience, they are not coming back to a DTC site that takes 5 to 7 days to ship. Amazon kept the customer.
And speaking of owning the relationship, let's talk about why your affiliate program might be flatlining. If you're stuck at, say, 200 creators, it's probably because you're treating it like an automated sign-up funnel instead of a managed roster. You've got to stop counting total sign-ups, start measuring active partners who have actually posted in the last 30 days. High-intent micro-creators who are making real comparison content will crush a celebrity with millions of passive followers every single time. You've got to use tiered commissions to reward those second and third posts and track your metrics down to the individual partner. Figure out who your proven winners are and actively resource them.
69%. It's a wild number. That is the staggeringly high percentage of time Google's AI overviews read a brand's self-serving listicle, but then actively recommend a competitor's product to the searcher anyway. Think about that. You polish a best e-commerce tools list, praising your own brand, the AI search reads it for context, but then serves up your rival. Slop optimization is completely backfiring right now.
So what's the antidote? Direct human authority. To build the kind of credibility that AI search engines simply can't intercept or steal, you need to start leveraging LinkedIn's new collaborative posts. This feature lets a creator and a brand page co-author a post, pushing it into both networks simultaneously. It is an incredible credibility boost because it's a mutual cosign. Use it for brand partnerships, use it for product launches. Honestly, it's the perfect hedge against these wildly unpredictable AI search results.
I'd highly recommend jotting these down. These are 5 distinct web gems separating the high-performing DTC operators from everyone else right now. First, literally just clarifying sizing on a product page can add tens of thousands in monthly revenue. For Meta ads, run one ABO campaign with one ad set per copy variation. If you don't, Meta's algorithm is just going to bury 3 out of 4 of your copy tests in the dark. Push Google PMax heavily into prospecting to segregate that traffic. Look at the Nordic and EU markets for crazy low CPMs on high GDP buyers. And finally, scale up to 40+ dedicated landing pages to perfectly align your ad angles. Seriously, just implement one of these this week.
Finally, let's get into Section 4. AI Operations and Economics, preparing for the end of the VC subsidy era.
We really need to look closely at these cheap, seemingly magical tools we're all relying on today. We've seen a massive trend recently called token maxing, where companies were literally incentivizing their developers to use maximum AI. They gamified the usage. But this behavior completely ignores a brutal financial reality coming down the pipeline for every single operator out there.
$39 billion. Let that sink in. That is OpenAI's staggering net loss for 2025. Their R&D costs alone were over $19 billion. What this tells you, plain and simple, is that the current API pricing you enjoy is an introductory rate, completely subsidized by venture capital and the aggressive pursuit of market share. You are not paying market rate right now.
You have to react to that reality right now, before the bill comes due. Amazon and Meta are already reversing those AI usage leaderboards because they saw the exponential costs hitting them. When those VC subsidies end and prices inevitably hike up, we're going to see a massive scissors gap. Massive enterprises might be able to absorb the bloated costs, but smaller DTC operators will just bleed out. You have to build lean workflows now. Practice model routing. Only use your expensive frontier models for complex tasks and route basic data formatting to the cheaper models. And please, beware of cognitive atrophy. If your team outsources all their actual strategic thinking to a chatbot, they aren't going to know how to do their jobs when the AI bill gets too high to justify.
And as you integrate more AI directly into your workspaces, security has to be paramount. Roughly 1 in 4 publicly available AI agent skills has security vulnerabilities. Don't just blindly install this stuff. Before you let a third-party Claude skill access your data, deploy this exact standard operating procedure. Never install anonymous skills. Actually read the skl.md file to make sure it isn't secretly firing your customer data off to an external webhook. Check the permissions. A basic copywriting bot absolutely does not need your Shopify admin access. Watch out for executable files like Python scripts, and run the whole package through a free automated scanner like Repello AI. Treat these skills exactly like you'd treat unverified phone apps.
Quick technical roundup to finish out our AI ops for the week. Try pasting a red team security prompt into your LLM, asking it to actively audit your own 2FA and backup systems. Also, keep a very close eye on self-healing agents like Notion's Smilers. These are bots that automatically turn internal support tickets into permanent knowledge base updates, so your company never has to answer the same question twice. Oh, and for the developers watching, new scaling laws show that AI models are getting exponentially better at interpreted languages like Python compared to compiled languages like Rust. The models simply learn them differently at scale.
That brings us to the ultimate question you need to sit down and honestly answer this week. When that VC money dries up and those massive AI pricing subsidies finally end, will your workflows and your margins actually survive? Build lean, protect your customer relationships, and I'll see you in the next explainer.